This video is a list of essential books that I think people should read if they're interested in nonfiction, especially popular nonfiction. These are books on science, on religion, and philosophy. The first book, in no particular order, is Carl Sagan's Demon Haunted World: Science as a Candle in the Dark. Carl Sagan pretty much lays out why science is relevant and how to critically analyze things. The first half of the book is pretty deep in talking about UFOs and aliens and pretty much debunks a lot of that stuff. And you're wondering why for most of the time until he gets to the later part where he compares all that alien debunking to debunking religion and the crazy things people believe. So it's a pretty good read. He's very good at conveying to the audience. The next book is actually three books that I think are all essential because they all reference each other. They are End of Faith, God is Not Great, and The God Delusion. End of Faith by Sam Harris is especially great. He lays out a brilliant, logical reason why faith should end, as the title suggests. The other book, God is Not Great, is How Religion Poisons Everything by Christopher Hitchens, is really good at arguing against religion in general, how it just corrupts society in every way. And it's really a historical look at most of the atrocities done by religion. And I don't want to say defense, but it explains why the atrocities committed by the communist Russia or China are not related to their atheists, but more of a new religion of obeying communism. So it's still right back to religion. And The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, as most people know, he is an evolutionary biologist, so he explains religion from an evolutionary point of view, and it really makes a lot of sense as to why religion formed and why it has taken such a strong hold. And he also paints a really compelling picture of why the God of the Old Testament, and sometimes in the New, is just an evil villain, which should not be worshipped. For physics, there are another three books to read. The first one I would say is The Book of Nothing, Vacuums, Voids, and the Latest Ideas About the Origins of the Universe by John Barrow. As it suggests, it's a book about nothing, but that doesn't mean it's not anything. Nothing, as it turns out, is a lot, and it explains a lot about void energy and in how in quantum mechanics things just pop in and out of existence in the void. What it gets down to is basically all those creationists that argue that scientists think Big Bang came from nothing and that's impossible. Well, this book proves that maybe that is possible, and maybe they should read it first. Another essential physics book is The Elegant Universe by Brian Greene. He explains string theory to the layman, I guess I'd be a layman, as best he can. And it's very complicated, especially towards the end where he talks about the weird curled up shapes of dimensions, Calabi-Yau shape. It's but it does explain a lot of the history behind how string theory came out. It explains a lot of Einstein's theory of relativity, and a lot of quantum mechanics. It is an essential read if you want to grasp in any way string theory without taking advanced graduate classes. Last but not least, we have Physics of the Impossible by Michio Kaku. This is, I think, his second book, and it's just a really fun read to learn about all the possibilities of the future of science and what we may or may not be able to do in the future. He talks about things like, is time travel possible? Are wormholes possible? Or is invisibility possible? And just pretty much goes down the list, classifies everything as class 1, 2, or 3. So yeah, Michio Kaku's book is definitely a good light read too, and you'll enjoy it a lot. So pick it up. Two more Richard Dawkins books, which are essential for anyone trying to understand evolution, are these: The Selfish Gene and The Blind Watchmaker. Selfish Gene is his first book, and it's really excellent. He explains why evolution doesn't work on the species, it doesn't work on the individual, which obviously the natural selection is placed on the traits of an individual, but what he really describes is how the gene is central and how the gene, it's from the gene's point of view for evolutionary history. Dawkins explains in The Selfish Gene how you could have a stable state based on a ratio of hawk-like creatures to dove-like creatures. He talks about the prisoner's dilemma, game theory. It's really excellent. Pick it up. His other book, The Blind Watchmaker, is a response to basically the creationist movement, and he explains not only why evolution is blind and no intelligence behind it, but he gives amazing examples as to the faults of evolution, why there's no foresight. It would have been better to develop an organ this way, but it didn't happen like that, so you're stuck with what you have. He explains why a designer would either be incompetent or blind. The final book on my list is The Complex: An Insider Exposes the Covert World of the Church of Scientology by John Duggan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is basically a memoir of this person's experiences inside the church for 22 or some years. How they took his life and how he finally found out the truth and escaped. Sometimes it feels like you're getting bogged down in all the different names of the organizations and sub-organizations that Scientology has, but that only works to make you realize how much of a web that, quote, religion is. The biggest payoff comes at the end when you're with this person the whole time, and he finally finds out what's going on. He does his research on the internet, and he finally gets away, and you're really rooting for him. And it's a first-person point of view, but only because it really happened to this guy. I'm sure Scientologists are going to deny it. They're probably going to try to flag this video now, but get this book. It's a great one. I'll try to put a link on the side. One last thing, another book, not essential but definitely enjoyable, is Taroja Kincaid's In Defense of Evil. Why Good is Bad and Bad is Good. You know him as The Amazing Atheist here on YouTube. It's a pretty good book. He's very funny, as we all know, and sometimes it's a little hard to tell when he's being sarcastic and, in text. What the book really is not really defense of evil, like he says. It's really a flipping of morality and how our society's morals are pretty much fucked up. So I suggest you go to his site and find this book and pick it up. I think it's on Lulu. So that's all of them, I think, for now. If you have any books you think are essential, please put them in the video responses or comments below. Also, if you're wondering why I'm wearing this hat, it's because it's early morning. I just woke up and I got bedhead. So that's all. Bye.